So hello everyone, it is your girl Jeff Beauty 87 here, aka Grace, and it is time for us to talk about my favorite palettes or the best palettes of 2021. I hope you brought a drink, a snack, you know, charge the battery on your phone because you're probably gonna get tired of hearing this, and you know, might be scrolling through Instagram while you're listening to buy these palettes. Anyway, let's get started because as usual it's me, so it's gonna be long as hell and I'm gonna talk entirely too long for no good reason. Let's get started. I have my black owned brands first as far as indie goes, or like affordable, and then we're gonna get into my affordable palettes, then we'll do high-end luxury, and then I think I'm gonna end with my indie palettes because I have one more indie palette I need to try now, so that way if I like it I can put it on the tail end and then make the X in the video. So we'll see how that goes. Anyway, let's get started. So y'all know Juvia's Place is gonna be in here. So I have the Juvia's Place, the Rebels, Army, and Mint. I'm trying to show stuff in this video for the most part that I didn't show in my top 3 in each category, although those are some of my favorites. So a couple of those might be in here, but as a general rule, I'm trying to make sure I don't repeat things for the most part. There are gonna be a couple of repeats just because I really liked people's YouTube collabs with makeup brands this year, so I'm gonna be showing them again. Anyway, this is the Army's one. This is the Mint one. I was excited about the Mint one because I'm like, a black owned brand making mint shades, I feel like they'll actually work for me because, you know, the black owned brand is making the mint shades as opposed to just another brand. So I was like, yes, give it to me. Next, I have the I Live, I Love palette, which is under the holiday collection palettes. I'm not putting the ice one in here just because I have another one I'll show you instead. Matter of fact, you're watching the video on it right now while I'm, you know, filming this. But this is what it looks like. I like the color story of this. It reminds me of the Sugar Cookie palette from Beauty Bakerie. I didn't get that one though because I haven't been a fan of their eyeshadow palette formula, but this one gave a similar color vibe. The only thing that sucks is this is a pressed glitter. I didn't know that. It went on pretty nicely though, all things considered, but I just don't like pressed glitter, so I wasn't happy about that. But luckily this new one that they got, the Olari 2, doesn't have any pressed glitters in it, so I was happy about that. And this is what I wanted the I Live, I Love Ice palette to be. Like, have a deeper shades like this, have some nice shimmers to go with it, no pressed glitters, you know, that's what I wanted it to be. Only thing that sucks is this one doesn't have a mirror and that one does. So it's like, why can you put the mirror in here and then just give me this and then just not put a mirror in that one? But you know, whatever. Anyway, I really like this palette. I actually just did the review on it, and the blues in here blend out like a dream, and it just looks great. I actually combined, I did a palette mashup with it and the one I was talking about, the I Live, I Love Ice palette. So yeah, it was very impressive. I'm trying not to have palettes fall on the floor, y'all. That's why I keep looking at it like, please don't fall, please don't fall. Because my Blend Bunny is on the very edge, and I'm like, no, don't do it. Next, I have the Ace Beauty Tropical Vibes palette. I feel like I might have talked about this one. I don't think I did, though. But this is what it looks like. If y'all remember, my shade broke, and I just never reached out to customer service, so that's why mine looks like that. But this palette is stunning. This is what people wanted 420 from last year to be. You know, like, being able to blend and look nice and not be patchy, because this one isn't patchy. It builds well on each other with their new formula. I'm absolutely loving it. Okay, we're gonna get into my affordable. So y'all should have known this was gonna be in here. Passion in Paris from BH Cosmetics. Like, this is just so a color story of me. Like, you got like mauves and berry tones, and you got like a lot of blues. You still got some purples and some dark greenish bluish shades. So this one is perfect for me. And I feel like you can go down each row and make a somewhat cohesive look, or just go across each row. Or you can just dip around and play and make whatever you want. But this is a great palette for a great price. Now, the Party in Puerto Rico one is not nearly as good as this one. I actually put that in my, I think, fails video, if I remember correctly, of one of the worst palettes I tried this year, just because the formula wasn't that great. And if I didn't, I think I just forgot to, because it would have been in there. Next are all Colourpop palettes. So these are like my favorite Colourpop palettes I tried this year. So we have High Tide. Y'all should have known this was gonna be in here too. One thing I do love about Colourpop, they can always make me a blue palette. Like, they make the best blue palette color stories. I'm telling you, like, I absolutely love their blue palettes. And this one isn't different. This teal palette, the High Tide, I love this palette. Like, it is a gorgeous color story. And when it comes to their blue palettes, y'all know how I change stuff around in Colourpop palettes a lot of times. I don't ever change anything in their blue palettes just because I think they do such an exceptional job, which says a lot, because I be recreating Colourpop palettes every 5 minutes, it seems like. But with those, I don't ever have to touch anything. It's just chef's kiss. Next, I have the Tinkerbell Sprinkle a Little Magic palette. Now, I love the color story of this. It's like, I like the fact that they mix mauve and pinky tones with greens. I think that's really cool. I got that I've got inspired to do that once I saw the Kylie You're So Money Baby palette, because she did that with her palette. I actually thought it was really nice, so I'm so glad that they did one. I wish some of the shades in here were a little bit deeper, but it's like, you know, I can work with it and make it work just fine. I did when I showed you all the eye look I did in the pictures. So I really like this palette. I really like the quality of it, and I think it's a unique color story for them. Next, I have the Cabana Club palette. This is what she looks like on the inside. This is one of the few palettes from Colourpop I have not changed around. So I feel like if I don't change it around, then that automatically makes it good as far as color story wise. But also the form of this is actually really nice. I put one of these in like the giveaway I think that's going on now, or the giveaway before that. It was the giveaway before that or the one that's going on now. I don't remember which one. I want to say it's the one before. But I really like the color story of this, and I really like this. I think it's great for spring. It's a cute little palette. Now this was like the epitome of summer in a palette for me when it came to Colourpop. This is the Lush Life palette. Y'all, I was so in love. I was like, yes, give it to me. Like, look at it. Like, I'm not really fond of this row, as we know, or this row. I'm mainly concerned about the middle part, but it looks nice together as a whole. And I did do some looks with all these, with this palette to make it look gorgeous. Y'all know I did looks with the majority of these palettes, or else I wouldn't be talking about them. But yes, this is gorgeous. It is one of my all-time favorite Colourpop palettes of 2021. And so, the last one I have to talk about is Limoncello. Like, y'all, I know you're probably like, you and Limoncello? Yes, me and Limoncello. The formula on this is absolutely amazing. And I did get caught up with the pop of blue effect and the green right here, because if you do that, it's just a boring neutral palette. But those pops make it amazing. And the formula on this is actually really nice. So I've done like 3 or 4 looks with it. And that's a big deal considering I'm a YouTuber and I have to like make videos with different palettes every day and use different palettes every day to try out formulas. So the fact that I went back to it says a lot. So we are done with the affordable. Now let's get into some high-end. Okay, so we're getting to the high-end palettes now. So we're like halfway done. I got like 3 more stacks left and then we should be good. I know it's going to be a whole lot. Okay, so I'm going to start off with this brand, Huda Beauty. So these Wild Obsession palettes like are her best mini palettes to date, besides like the nude collection she came out with. But y'all know these are hit or miss. These are definitely a hit. And the crazy thing is like all of them are a hit. Now the Python isn't as great as the rest of them, but you know, this is Jaguar. That's when I told y'all like you don't need if you already have the Smoky palette. This one is Python. What I was talking about, the quality on this isn't as good as the other ones, but it's still nice and it has a really nice color story, so that's why it got to be in here. Then there's Chameleon, which is just like a warm tone pop of purple like reddish palette, but it's nice. And then there is Tiger. Now this one you can only get on her website. You can't get anywhere else, but I wanted to compare it to the Toffee one, and then like everybody was comparing it to the gold one, but I didn't see anybody really compare it to Toffee, and that's what I wanted to see about. So I got it myself and compared it to Toffee myself and did a video on it if you all are interested. And I have videos on all 4 of these, so that's that. Next I have the Rose Quartz palette. Now the formula on this is really nice. I was surprised with this one because I thought it was going to be really ashy and not necessarily look good on people my skin tone. But it actually turned out to be really nice and work out pretty well. So I was like pleasantly surprised by it. It gave me a gorgeous halo eye and a few other gorgeous looks. I think I've used this about 4 or 5 times, which is a big deal. Because again, when you have a lot of palettes, especially since that one hadn't come out that long ago, I was like happy. Next is the Ethereal Bloom palette from Artist Couture. Now what I love about this palette is when you look at it and you see all these pastels, you might be afraid, but it's like if you're my skin tone, the pastels actually oxidize and go darker than they are in the pan. So it's like, it looks, I almost dropped it, Jesus. It looks this light, but it's like when you put it on your eyes, it's going to be much darker. The same thing with like the purple. So that's what I liked about this pastel palette mainly. The fact that the colors oxidize and go deeper. So it's like, it'll work out for me better and still be considered pastel on someone my skin tone. But it's a really nice palette. This is one of my favorite like mini palettes from him. I like the what is this, Super Nudes Quickie too, but it's like that has all the shades in the original bigger palette, minus I think like 2, so it's like I don't, sorry, minus 3, so I didn't feel the need to put that one in here. Plus it's a nude palette, and how often am I going to use a nude palette? So like, yeah, no. Next I have the Sigma and Cinderella palette. I loved the color story of this palette. And the formula is really amazing on Sigma's palettes. The quality is great. This is what it looks like. It's absolutely stunning. Look at that color story. Like blues and purples. And just everything I could dream of. It's like a perfect grungy Cinderella story. That's what I think of when I see it, and I'm just like, yes, so excited. So I really liked that one. Save those for last. This is the one that's actually in my eyes right now. This is Do You Want Some Milk palette from Made by Mitchell. I just got done filming my 2 looks with this palette. It's simply stunning. I was scared about getting this palette though, because I didn't know how well it was going to look on some of my skin tone. Well, not how it was going to look well on my skin tone, how it's going to come up with color stories for it. Because like to me, it just looks like really difficult to work with as far as coming up with colors. But I found when you find a certain little corner in his palette that you feel like it worked for you, you just use those tones and make it work around that. So that's what I did, and I absolutely love the formula on this, just like I love the formula on his last 2 palettes. This that's his 3rd palette, and I have every palette he makes because they're simply stunning. Next, I have my Norina Pro Pigment palette volume 5. The late great Mel Thompson was raving about this palette, so I was like, I have to get it. But I was like, I don't want to pay the full price when I know I'm not going to use it that often. But apparently I will, because honey, I did like 3 looks, 1 palette with this palette, and you all will see it coming up the week before you see this video come up. It is so stunning. Like, oh my god, y'all, the colors in it are beautiful. The formula on this is wonderful. Like, everything about this palette just made me so happy. I was like, yes. Because we know I am a purple connoisseur. If it's green, if it's blue, if it's purple, I need to know about it. I need to investigate. I need to try it out. And I did. And I was like very pleasantly surprised. The formula on that one is different than all the other formulas of all the other ones they did. I don't know if they revamped their formula. I don't know what they did to their formula, but I'm happy they did it. And I hope, you know, it continues to be like that palette, because that palette is amazing. Okay. So y'all knew Milk was going to be up in here, right? Because they not indie no more. They all have been Sephora making $76 palettes and stuff. So it's like, no, you're not indie no more. You just high end. Scoot over there. Go where you belong now. But yeah, this is the Blueprint palette. Y'all know I love me a blue moment with a palette. The only thing I hated about Blueprint was you got all these browns too. So it's like, when I get more palettes in my collection later on down the line, I might switch out some of these browns and put something different in here, just because I'm like, I'm not crazy about having a whole bunch of browns in here with the blues. It looks fine and it works fine. It's just I'm not excited about that. But the formula and the quality on it is really good, and y'all know some of their palettes be hit and miss. So the fact that this is a hit, I want to make sure I put it in here. We in golden hour, y'all, so if you start seeing weird lights coming in the background, that's what's happening. My bad. So next I have the Mariposa palette. Look at how stunning this is. And this is what the inside looks like. I was happy that they came out with some bigger palettes. The only thing is the pan sizes are much smaller than I'm used to with them. So that's what I had to adjust to. But otherwise, it's a great palette. I love the color story of it. I love the formula of it. And they so fancy. How the inside of your package in velvet. Like, you know, they really doing it. Over here this year, they was like, we going all out. It is simply stunning. And I'm so happy to have it in my collection. They kill it with the holiday palettes every year. I don't care what you say. They may not do it when it comes to other stuff, but they gonna kill their holiday packages every year. Okay, so I got some repeats in this pile, but you know, out of the luxury stuff I had, this was the stuff I was most excited about. So I was like, let me, you know, show it. So I got the Natasha Denona Zendo palette. Oh, sorry, Xenon palette. This is what it looks like. It's just a simple black and white palette, but to me this is like a good go-to smoky eye palette. And since I actually don't own Smoke's Show or Blowing Smoke, whichever one it's called now, I forgot. I know it had one name and then they changed it to another one, but I bought this one instead, and I'm so happy with this purchase. I know Morgan Turner said like the Colourpop one was better. I can't tell you if it was or not. I don't have it, but I'm fine with the Natasha one, and it's going in this favorite, the best of 2021 for me, because it's just a good simple go-to smoky eye palette. Now I know I have Pretty Cool from Dose of Colors, but it's like Pretty Cool doesn't have any shimmers in it, and what I like about Natasha is it has shimmers and mattes. So next we have Patrick Ta's Major Dimension eyeshadow palette. Now I put this one in here because it's unique when it comes to like the creams he put in there. I thought they were so cool. Like the fact that these creams are in here. Now I don't think you're supposed to do the creams like you do with the blushes, where you put the powder down and then you put the cream on top. I'm not sure though, so don't quote me, but I put the cream underneath as like a base type thing, and then I just use the browns and the shimmers. Now the shimmers are a little difficult to work with. You just got to find the right brush to put them on with, but they look gorgeous on the eye. They're like these gorgeous shimmery sexy toppers that I was here for, and it was the vibe, and I was like, yes Patrick, give it to me, give me all of it. So I had to put this palette in here. Plus, y'all know I just love me some Patrick Ta. Like, his face palette is going to be in the favorites video too, just FYI. But it's not going to be in this one, obviously, because we focus on eyeshadow palettes here. Next, I have the Circle Local palette from Natasha. I was just excited that a luxury brand gave us some color, because I feel like we've been wanting Mother to give us some color. She would do like pop the color, but like she didn't go full balls to the ball color like Natasha did. Now please bear in mind, y'all know I changed my Circle Local palette around. It does not look the way it used to look. So this is what mine looks like. I took shades from the Tropic palette and put them in here. So like this blue, I'm pretty sure it was this purple, and then this shade right here, and the green all came from the Tropic palette. So I basically took all the fun shades out of the Tropic palette and just threw them in here because I thought it looked cooler. And I didn't really like the oranges in this palette. I didn't feel like they performed that well. Now the metallic orange in this palette was fine. It was the matte orange that I wasn't impressed with in this palette. And since I don't like orange anyway, as we all know, if you've been here before, you know I'm not a fan of orange shadows. That's why this got changed around. So the last ones I have to talk about, of course, are Mother Pat. So y'all know she gave us Divine Rose 2 this year. Absolutely stunning palette. Let me get it open and show it to you. But I always feel like you have to show the presentation of her palettes first, just because she's like so extra with the packaging. I'm like, yes, you must see it. Then I got the Rose Gold Limited Edition packaging of this palette, which I was excited about. And here's what she looks like on the inside. Now y'all remember the shade shift, so as you can see in the pan, it's pink right there. But if you look in the mirror right there, it's going to be green. So it's just, that's, I believe that's Sextrovert. Stunning, stunning palette. So happy that a luxury brand gave us some multi-chrome, dual chrome, trio chrome type things. I wonder how much it would cost for a luxury brand to make a palette like that. Because I know Vanessa Myers came out with her palette. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to grab that one. So I can't tell you anything about it. I know, right? Me not being able to grab the palette. That's insane. I know. Next, I have Utopian Dream. I know a lot of people was disappointed by this because they calling it like, what are you talking? Divine Rose 3. And I'm like, I don't necessarily see it as Divine Rose 3. But, you know, to each his own. Like, I guess they're saying that because it has a lot of these peachy-ish, like, tone shades. And then there's just, like, the 2 pops of purple or whatever. And that's why they see it that way. I don't personally see it that way. I just see it as like a corally palette with some pops of purple. But I mean, like, compared to the packaging, I'm gonna be like everybody else. It is disappointing. It's like, Mother, when you gonna give us a Circle Local-ish type palette? Like, even if you do like an all shimmer version and make a what's the name of that palette? Decadence Volume 2. And just make it like all shimmery fun toned colors, like bright ones. I think that'll be cool. Anyway, next we have the Celestial Odyssey palette. Mega Mothership. This is the holiday palette for this year. I know some people said they like this one better than the one from last year. I like both of them just fine. I think a lot of people just didn't like the one from last year because it was like, she just added the Star Wars ones for the people who didn't get the Star Wars palette, and then added like 6 new shades in the middle, and that's why people were mad, because the people that were unfortunate enough to get it were mad because they already had those shades. But this is what the new one looks like. I like it just fine. Like this green shade, this blue shade, I made it gorgeous looking. Like I told y'all, Pat McGrath recreated what I had did on her page. Now I'm sure it was just something she came up with on her own, like I came up with on my own, but I still thought it was cool. So every time I show this palette, I have to mention it. But it's truly exceptional. Especially because she has a new glittery formula. Like, I think this black shade is part of the glittery formula. And then, like, this green shade right here is part of the new glittery formula. Like, some of the shades in here are old, though, from what I remember. Because they say, like, she repeats a lot of shades. And I agree, she does repeat a lot of shades. But, you know, other brands do it, too. Like, how many times Chardon came out with Pillars Off? Like, Tasha did it this year. I think we only got, like, 1 new shade in her palette. So, it's like, other people do it, too. So, you know. For some reason, they don't like to come up with new shades, or maybe they just feel like certain tones work best, and that's why they don't do that. I have no idea why they do that, but they don't. So I'm just like, oh, okay. Next, I'm gonna get into my YouTuber collabs. So I only have like, I think a couple of them that are repeats. Oh, yep. See, y'all palettes just failed. Thank God. I had something to catch it. So this is an honorable mention. I have the Lethal Is Dead Lethal Teresa Is Dead palette. from Lethal Cosmetics. This is an honorable mention because I've only used it, I think, like 2 times, but I really like Lethal's formula, and I do like this color story, seeing it in person, because at first when I saw it online I was like, what am I supposed to do with that? I don't know what I'm gonna do with that, but I do like it. It's just since I haven't used it that much, I don't want to be like, oh yes, I love it, it's best or whatever. Whereas with these other things, I have used them more and feel like they're more, you know, like where I can talk about them with confidence. Whereas this one, I'm like, I used it and it's nice and I love the color story. I like Teresa, she's hilarious, but I'm like, I don't want to, you know, put myself out there and then be like, well, what about this, and what if this happens? And I'm like, I don't know, I'm gonna use it 3 times. Whereas with this one, like, this is the Batty Bean X Stroud. It's freaking Bats palette. I was thinking about getting another one since she's going by Batty Bean now instead of Butte Bean. So then that way, when I show it, I don't have to try to cover up the name, or you be looking at it like that says Butte Bean, and you know that's not the person you just named. But this is what the inside of the palette looks like. I love the color story of this. I think it's cool, unique, and fun. And I feel like a lot of people gravitated for it just because it's so unique and fun. Plus she does really nice makeup and eye looks, so it's in my best because I have used it quite a bit. Even though it came out last year, I didn't get it till this year. So next I have the Serenity palette from Menagerie and Adept. That's Jesus, Adept. Menagerie and Annette. That's what I meant to say, Jesus. This is what the inside of the palette looks like. It is simply stunning. Mine broke right here, unfortunately, which I'm sad about, but this is a gorgeous palette. I think I've done like 2 or 3 looks with this. I like to combine this palette with her other palette that we're about to talk about, which is the Giant Wolves, which is actually sold out. So if you didn't get your hands on it, it's not coming back. So I'm sorry, I don't tell you. This is what it looks like. So to me, these are great companion palettes to go together because you get some of the lighter, brighter, fun tones in this one, and you combine with the cooler, deeper tones in this one. So if you're a Net fan and you have both palettes, you can make similar, you can make really nice looks and do palette mashups with them, because both of them are going to give you 2 different effects. You get brighter tones from Menagerie when you want to do a brighter look, and then when you want deeper, more grungier tones, like for the fall, you can do that. So it's like this could be your summer palette from a YouTuber, and this could be like your winter palette from a YouTuber, and you can still get 2 great formulas from a wonderful YouTuber. So next, I'm gonna save my 2 favorite ones for last. So next I have the Carnival a little palette from Stacey McGrath and Beauty Cosmetics. I did film a video with this. I think I did 2 looks from 1 palette with this. I actually just edited and uploaded to YouTube, so it should be coming up sometime next week. I'm doing a week of eyeshadow palette content coming up the week of Christmas, because y'all know I love me an eyeshadow palette. So I got a whole bunch of Battle Does. I got ranking videos and other things like that coming up. But this is what the palette looks like. Y'all saw this in my Black Friday haul. I got this for like 39 bucks, and I think it's like 55 or something. So I thought that was a good deal. I bought it from their US site, so that way I only had to pay, I think, $5 for shipping as opposed to what they charge. Plus I got to see it in American money instead of like what is it, British pounds. Because when they do the conversion rate after the fact, I'll be like, whoa, it costs that much. And then, you know, I'll be like, well, maybe I shouldn't have got it, but you know, then it'd be too late. So I prefer to see it in, you know, American money, since that's the currency I'm using. But it's a nice palette. I understand why she put it in there, because you got to think a lot of her palettes are just colorful. She didn't have any like neutral, boring palette for people who don't necessarily want that, but they want to have a wider range in her collection. And I hear there's like a 5th one that's supposed to be coming out too. So I'm like, what is she going to do with the 5th one? Is it going to be like just cool tones in, since this is more like a warm toned palette? Or what's going to be going on with that? I don't know, but I am curious. Next, I have the Sydney Grace and Tentalia palettes. So my favorite one is Quintessential and Radiant Reflection. I wasn't that huge fan of On the Horizon, but it's like, I know Sydney Grace's formula is great, so let me show you them. This is the Quintessential one. All of mine, of course, in the dark shades. But they do have like a set for lighter shades if you're interested. This is On the Horizon. And then I'll show you the last one, which is Radiant Reflection, which is just some gorgeous like jewel tone shades that are just so pretty. So it's Radiant Reflection. As you can see, it has lots of like jewel tones. And she said these are supposed to be companion palettes, which kind of makes sense because some of the mattes don't necessarily work well. I usually use them by themselves though, so it's like you can use them by themselves. It's just, you know, she said she made them to be companion palettes so you can use them with other palettes in your collection if you like. So the last two collab palettes I have to talk about are, of course, Club Nebula. Y'all know I love the color story of this palette. I think it's so cool. It has blues and greens, and I got purples, and then like when you want the warm tone look, you have like the corally red shades down here. So this was just a really nice palette. I try not to use it that often because it was limited edition. I think they restocked it like 2 times after it initially came out and then it was done. I meant to get another one, but I didn't want to like be greedy and get another one, and then people that actually didn't get it at all didn't get a chance to, so I didn't do it with that palette. But however, I did do it with this palette right here, and y'all knew Tina was gonna be up in here. Okay, Tina in the background all the time. Like, this palette was gonna be up in here. I don't know what you thought, but Miss Fancy Face Tina was gonna be up in here. So this is the Hummingbird palette with her and Odin's Eye. I was so elated when this palette came out. I have used it like good 5 or 6 times at least. I like to bring this in with other palettes that I'm using sometimes, because I don't always get to just use this palette like I would like to, or always just stick to certain palettes I want to use, because I still have to test other things. So sometimes I'll just bring in other people's palettes, like, and since I want to use Tina's palette so much, I like try to bring it in any chance I get, even if I just use the shade Fancy, or if I just use one of the shimmers in the corner. Like, I love this palette, so I try to use it as often as possible. Tina killed it. I absolutely love it. It's stunning. It's wonderful. Yes, Tina girl, you did all that. Oh, thank you so much. So this is my last palette for the collab portion. Now we're going to just get into the indie brands in general, because, honey, I got to stack out of this world. But I have honorable mentions in here too, because a couple of these I have not used that often. Oh, God. What's the other palette? Was that it? Okay. I'm telling y'all, palettes is falling all around me. It's this whole hot mess. Let me turn up the saturation. Turn my lights up so you can't have the sunlight blocking too bad. I'm just going to have to be blind for like these last few palettes or whatever. Anyway, so I have the Glam Shop purple palette. I'm not even gonna try with this name. It's purple palette. It's what it looks like on the inside. Now I have only used this like 2 times. That's why it's an honorable mention, if you will, because it's not like the quality's bad on it. I think this is like one of my favorite purple palettes of all. Like this one, and then the, what is that other one? The Menagerie Flight Club one is another favorite of mine. You'll see that in here. And then the Glam Light one. Okay, y'all, so it's time to wrap it up now. Let's see. I'm gonna start with the first palette. I showed y'all all the, wait, no, I didn't show y'all all the honorable mentions. Sorry, I showed you one honorable mention, and then like my camera card decided to get full. So next honorable mention I have is the Velvet Dust palette from Lethal. Again, I've only used this palette like a couple of times, so I didn't want to put it in as like, yes, it's a favorite, it's the best and all that. Not that it's not a good palette. The quality on Lethal stuff is really good. It's just more of, since I've only used it a couple of times, like I said, I don't want to be like, oh, it's the best thing ever, and then y'all ask me certain things about it, and it's like, I'm not sure, because I've used it twice. We're not doing it. So that's why it's an honorable mention. Last honorable mention I have, before we actually get into all the stuff I'm going to talk about that I absolutely love, is the Nomad Cosmetics Meet Me in the Underworld palette. So this is what the inside of the palette looks like. Y'all can see it's just like nice berry tones on one side, and then you get the green grungy tones on the other side, and that's how you get this cute little combination of colors here. But it's really nice. I really like it. It's just more of, I can't speak on it too highly, because again, I've only used it like I think 2 or 3 times, whereas with all this other stuff I have used it throughout the year, or I've used it enough to where I feel comfortable ranking it. So first brand I have to talk about is Blend Bunny Cosmetics. So y'all know I love this brand. I think this one came out last year, but I'm showing it anyway just because I only have 2 palettes and I love both their palettes. So I was like, we just go show them both, it's fine. So this is what the Blends palette looks like. So I'm trying to turn down the color since the sun is going down some, so it won't be as bright in my face, because honey, is a whole ordeal. But this color story is gorgeous. This actually beat out my Color Rain Vivid Shadows and Pigments palette, and y'all know that was like my colorful rainbow palette of all time that I absolutely loved and had to have it. So next they came out with the Surge palette. That's what came out this year, and honey, like, I love this palette. Now mind you, I don't think I've used any of the shimmers in here, just because I'm so used to them being all matte, because the first palette was all matte, so I need to try out the shimmers more. But like the matte formula on this is top notch. I can't speak on the shimmers because I don't think I used any of them, but The mattes are amazing. You get these cool neon acid looking colors down here. Then you get shimmers to match those. And then you get all these mattes at the top. So it's a really great palette. From swatching them, I remember them being really nice and pigmented. They seemed more topper-esque from what I remember. But don't quote me. Like I said, I didn't actually use them. I used all the mattes because I was used to the brand only having matte shadows. Next, I have the Ugly palette from Likely Makeup. Like, as soon as I tried this, I knew it was going to be in this video because the quality on this is absolutely amazing. In fact, it's only like 29 bucks, and then I caught mine on sale for 25 because it was Black Friday. I was just like, done and done. I need it. I'm like, whenever they come up with another palette from now on, I'm most likely buying it as long as I like the color story, because the color story of this is absolutely stunning. It's just very, very pretty. A lot of the tones in it I really like. I need to do a softer look with it, but I have only done one look with it. That was the video you all saw about this palette. If you haven't seen the video, I'll try to remember to link it up above. I know a lot of people didn't watch it. I think it's because they didn't even know who the brand was. But I knew I was going to get it and try it out as soon as I saw it, because I was like, color story was simply stunning. And there was nothing ugly about the palette. It was like an oxymoron. Just like the plain Jane palette. But yes, so Nenhydrin. Y'all knew Nenhydrin was going to be here. This is my all-time favorite Adept palette, and I heard this supposed to be Nenhydrin 2.0, so I'm over here extra thirsty in the corner looking like, but when is it coming out though? I know they're supposed to have a collab palette coming next year, but I'm like, when is Nenhydrin 2 coming out? Because I need more purples. I hope they do like a little bit more blues and greens in that one as well, or just do maybe some more bluish purples and some greens in it. I think that'll be cool, and maybe some like deeper pinks to offset and balance off this palette. Because I feel like if they make one, I'm hoping it's a balance for this one. And maybe there's a couple more mattes in it. But this is what it looks like. Absolutely stunning. This is like one of the shimmer palettes I reach for the most when it comes to me wanting extra sparkle. When I want extra sparkle and Bam Pow on the lid, I usually reach for my Adept Cosmetics palette. So whether it be Codaine, Plain Jane, or my favorite Nenhydrin, like I'm reaching for one of theirs, or I'm reaching for another indie brand that you'll see a little later on in the video. Matter of fact, it's not later on the video. It's right here at the top. This is the Skewed palette from Oden's Eye. This was like, as soon as I saw this palette, and I don't usually buy these palettes at all. As soon as I saw this one, I was like, ooh, I want it. Like, look at these colors. Like, look at this weird periwinkle-ish type shade. Then you got, you know, this orange I'm not really too concerned about. But, like, the orange in here looks cool because it has flecks of green in it. And then there's this pink and then these grungy tones on the side. Like, this little palette right here is everything. I did a look with this one, and I think, like, Tina's palette one day when I went to work, and you all seem to really like that. So I'm like, yes, I'm living for this little palette right here. This palette is amazing. But it makes sense that it would go well with Tina's palette because it's from Tina's palette is from Oden's Eye as well. But yes, y'all, I was living. I was excited. My all-time favorite big Oden's Eye palette, though, is got to be the Norns palette. This palette, I feel like this palette works best for people my skin tone, where some of the other ones might not work as well. Like the mauve tone one, the Alva, the original doesn't work that well. The Alva 2, I was mad because it had pressed glitters in it. But when this came out, I was like, ooh, okay. Like these three shades right here at the bottom, like, dude, they're so glittery and sparkly and reflective, and like they're topper S type shades. They are just beautiful. Like, this palette itself is just beautiful. I think I've done like 2 or 3 looks with this. I did a palette mashup with this palette and what's her name? Angelica's Club Nebula palette. I think they go well together. Like, this is just a really stunning palette. And it is my favorite Oden's Eye palette other than Tina and Annette's palettes, of course. Next, we have just Alien Cosmetics. Just Alien Cosmetics. Look at all this. Like, these are some of my favorite Alien Cosmetics palettes. I love the fact they have all shimmer palettes, like this Don't Be Jelly palette. Like, look at this. It's just stunning dual chromes that you see. Just lovely. Like, the crazy thing is, like, when you look at this one front on camera, it's that color. When you look in the mirror, it's like, well, sorry, it doesn't show in the mirror, but like, see, like right there, it's purple. But when you see it up front, it's green. Like, this is just such a cool palette to me. I absolutely love this palette. Like, when I need dual chromes and I don't feel like going to my single shadow collection, I will easily just grab this palette and just put it on. It is lovely. Next, I have the Witching Hour. I tried not to show a whole bunch of the same palettes from the same brand, so I didn't show the Witching Hour. There's one in here, though, that you're going to see again that I did show in my top 3 in each category for eyeshadows, just because I love that palette so much. But this is what the palette looks like. It's stunning. It looks really similar to the Buddies palette, but it's not. Next, I have the Alien Cosmetics, what is this, Milkshake palette? Strawberry Milkshake. To me, this is how a Strawberry Milkshake palette should look, as weird as it is. Like, you got your green for the stem. You got a fun pop of bright green. Then you got this bright shimmery shade. And you got all these different tones of red for the different berry tones. Now, this shade, I guess they want us people to have brow bone highlight shade. Because I'm like, I don't see the point of that one. But overall, I love this palette and the color story of it. This is one of my favorite Alien Cosmetics palettes. They've dropped quite a few palettes this year. I'm waiting on my holiday smells like holiday spirit palette to show up to give you all a review on it. I still have holiday palettes coming in now, but I've already ranked my holiday palettes, so the ones that showed up late, they just don't get to be in this year's ranking. And one I actually forgot to put in there, so oops. Next, I have the Alien Cosmetics Not Normal palette. This is the one you all saw in my top 3 in each category palette. But like, look at this color story. I couldn't help myself. Like, look how gorgeous. This is definitely a color story made for somebody like me, because I got my greens, my purples. It's just a absolutely stunning and gorgeous palette. It's sexy. I love it. And I'm glad I got that one. The last one I have to talk about is the one my girl Dr. Ash and her makeup kept talking about, telling the brand that they needed to bring it back because the community had spoken and they wanted it back. So I feel like you should already know what I'm talking about. This is the All I Ever Wanted palette. The shimmers and dual chromes in here are absolutely amazing. But just keep in mind, this one is high. This one was 86 bucks. But if you use code Cage Makeup, you can get a nice little discount. I think Beauty in the Frizz has a discount code with them as well. I forgot her code. I saw it on her Instagram today. I just don't remember what the code was. But Beauty in the Frizz has a code, so you can go to her Instagram and look at her Smells Like Holiday Spirit collection picture. And the code is down there. But this is what the palette looks like. Absolutely stunning. And I'm glad I have that in my collection. So now I've got them out the way. Shades. Next, I have the Flight Club palette from Menagerie. Now, again, this is one y'all saw in my top 3 in each category, but I literally love this palette. Like, this is easily one of my top 10 purple palettes of all time. Like, this palette is amazing. I've used this about a good 4 or 5 times when I do a purple look, just because I really love it. I like purple palettes that have unique color stories to them and unique colors of purple in them, because I feel like a lot of times people just play it safe with certain purples and they don't branch out and do weird stuff. Like, I like this dual chromey shade here, and then I like this shade of purple, and I like that this shade isn't necessarily just true purple. It's more like a magenta type purple. So it's like, I like the fact that they put different shades in here, and this magenta shimmer to go with this magenta like matte here. So this was just beautifully done. I was sad to see Indigo Ink go, but like when I saw that that's what they were replacing with, I was like, okay, I'll be fine. I'll be fine. It's fine. It's fine. Let me put that back over here. That's for another video. Next, I have the Glam Light Happy Hour collection. Now, if you notice, I didn't put the margarita one in here because that's my least favorite one. These 3 are the ones I feel like I will reach for the most, so that's why I'm showing those. So we have the wine palette to start off with, and again, another gorgeous purple palette was brought out this year. This is my favorite shade in this palette just because it's so unique and weird when it comes to purples that you don't normally see in palettes. So this one is like my all-time favorite purple. I also like this one too because I feel like it's a little bit deeper in tone than the other purples in my purple collection. So wine is amazing. This to me is just like another dupe version of Smoke Session, but with a wider range of shades in it. It's just opposed to the 3 that kind of look like this, and then the 3 that kind of look like those neutral shades that they have in this one. So I really like this palette for that because it's just a wider, funner range of Smoke Sessions. And then this one I like because it has unique shades to be a, like, you know, neutral palette. It has like some mauves in it, some nice peach tones. And like this shimmer right here is what has my heart with this palette. So I really like this one, and I'm happy to have this whole collection. Even though I wasn't excited about Margarita, it's just like all the packaging and everything was done so well. So I was like, I just need them all. Next, we're gonna talk about Nomad Cosmetics. So this is my favorite Nomad Cosmetics palette. If you didn't know, I love the Iceland Fire and Ice palette. And I mean, I feel like you should see why. There's blues, there's greens, there's purples, there's lots of blues. There's like this neutral grungy spot I can use when I want to do that sort of look. And then if I have an off chance where I want to do like a warm tone look, I have these 3 fiery shades right in the middle. So this palette was beautifully done. This is my favorite Odin's Eye. Odin's Eye, my favorite Nomad palette. But the Haunted Europe is a close second, because it has like a lot of grungy tones in it as well. So it's like, I'm mainly concerned about this half of the palette. If y'all know me, you already knew that. But this half is okay too. Like if I have a grungy neutral look I have in mind, I have like this section right here, and then I can do like a pop of color with the orange and, you know, make a nice little look. So I really like this palette as well, but Iceland has my heart. Last but certainly not least, we have our DD Signature Skewer Bundle. I love this set. I actually love it so much I bought you all the set to put in the giveaway that's going on right now that ends on New Year's Eve. So this is what the set looks like. On those palettes, I have a whole YouTube video using all 4 palettes. I absolutely love the shades in the palette. My favorite one is the Caramel Skewer and the Exotic Skewer. So I'll show you my 2 favorite ones, but I'm not going to pull every single one out. So this is the exotic one. Look at this color story. Like, this is perfect for Christmas, because if you take out the purple, you just have like a perfect Christmas palette. Look at that. You got your greens, you got your reds, and you got your nice little shimmers to put on. So that's perfect for Christmas. She knew what she was doing. And then the Caramel Skewer is this one right here. And I feel like it's just a nice little pop of color. The formula on these is really nice. And then it has like these awesome dual chromes in them that are like nice topper S type shades. So if you like stuff like that, you'll really like it. So those were all the palettes I have to talk about. I know this video was like a million years long. I know it's going to be probably like 30 minutes. So at least 30 minutes. So just be prepared. But those are all the palettes I had to talk about. So okay, y'all, so my eyeshadow eyeliner like products or whatever I have for this year are the Patrick Ta Major Volume Mascara. Y'all knew this was going to be in here. I absolutely love this mascara. This is the mascara I use at home alongside my Pat McGrath mascara. And then the mascara I use here the most, I've actually finished. I had to bring another one over with me, the one I leave at home, is the Maybelline Sky High mascara from Last Sensational. This stuff is absolutely amazing. This is like a brand new fresh bottle that I'm about to leave in the bathroom here because I love it so much. Then I have the Essence Volume Booster Lash Primer. I learned about this from Andrea Montanalo. I ended up getting it to compare to what is Marc Jacobs one, since y'all know Marc Jacobs Beauty is going out of business. So I'm like, I decided to pick this one up because she said it was a good dupe, and she was right. It is an amazing dupe, and I am happy to have it in my collection, especially since the Essence is only like $5, and I think I caught that on sale for like $3 or something, because they were having 20 or 30% off Essence. I forgot. My eyeliner, of course, another Patrick Ta thing. This is the Patrick Ta Precision Gel Liner in the shade Black. I don't know if there are any other shades. I don't remember. I think he only came out with a black one. Don't quote me though, because I'm not 100% sure. I know some other people didn't like this eyeliner, but this is the Fenty Beauty, what they call fly liners? Fly Pencil Long Wear Pencil Eyeliner. I have the shade Lady Lagoon. I really like this. And then I got like a bubblegum pink shade. I forgot the name of that one, but this is what the color looks like. This is a really nice eyeliner. I think it works in the waterline really well. And then I have the Juvia's Place I Define Pen Liner. So the only thing is the felt tip on this is like kind of long. Look how long that is, y'all. Like, it's ridiculously long, but it works really nice and really well. I don't have it on my eyes right this section because I had it in here in order to do the review on it, but it's really nice. So those are all my like eyeliner mascara type things. Now I'm really done with the video, so I hope you all enjoyed this video. Remember, you all are diamonds. I gotta take myself home because it's like getting dark outside. I still gotta drop something off from my mom, like I told y'all in the earlier video. But I see you guys in the next one. Remember, you all are diamonds. Okay, bye girl, be blessed.